I'm going to change my life in 1,000 days. Day 3 of 1,000. I woke up at 6 in the morning. I honestly didn't want to get up. I remember my mind telling me that I should rest because of how hard I had worked during the week. I had been working since Monday, so my body was exhausted. Before, I always used days like this, Saturdays or Sundays, to sleep in and rest. But this day was the exception, and it won't be the last one. If I remember correctly, I stayed in bed for about 5 more minutes, looking for something that would pull me out of bed like lightning and force me to get moving. But that didn't happen. Still, there were some words that did have an effect on me. Every hour counts. Every minute counts. Every action counts. Now that I think about those words I told myself, they were motivation in a way. They were fuel. And it's true. Every hour counts. Every minute counts. Every action counts. I remember that before, on Saturdays like this one, I used to stay in bed until 9 or 10 in the morning, sometimes even until 11, without eating breakfast, just lying there, doing things I'm not proud to mention. Wasting time watching empty videos, meaningless content on different social media platforms. But I was ignoring a crucial truth. Every hour counts. Every minute counts. Every action counts. I used to tell myself, it's Saturday. I worked hard all week. There were even weeks when I barely worked, or only worked a couple of days, and I still told myself, I deserve this rest. I deserve this reward. That's when I understood something. If you want to improve as a person, you have to understand that there are no real days off. I'm not saying you have to work every single day. What I'm saying is that you still have to make an effort even on the days you're not working. In my case, there were so many things I wasn't doing on those days. Organizing my room, washing my clothes, taking care of my pet. Things I avoided for weeks because I didn't understand that every hour counts. Every minute counts. There are no days off. If you want to improve, you're obligated to give your best effort even on the days when you don't feel like doing anything. That's when the lesson really hit me. Every hour counts. Every minute counts. Every action counts. After getting up, I made my bed and organized a few things on my desk. Then I started working on the script for day 2. It flowed really well. I wrote for about an hour and a half. It was a bit long, honestly, but I think with experience, I'll be able to do it faster. After that, something started to bother me. The memories of content I used to watch came back. There was one specific video that kept coming to my mind, one I used to watch often. It had been there since the morning, but it wasn't very strong at first. As time passed, it became more intense. After breakfast, around 10 in the morning, another challenge appeared. I was overcomplicating the translation of the video into English. I usually write my scripts in Spanish, then use artificial intelligence to improve coherence, avoid repetition, and organize ideas better. After that, I translate the script into English using the same tools. The problem was that during translation, the script changed too much. Sometimes it became too short, other times too long, and when I read it, it felt like someone else had written it. That frustrated me a lot. On top of that, the growing anxiety from my addiction made it even harder to think clearly and solve the problem. Because of all that mental overload, I decided to take a nap. It was already around 11 in the morning. I lay down for about an hour, but I couldn't sleep. I was stressed about everything I had to do. The memory of that video kept coming back, stronger than before, especially because I was in the same place where I had failed many times before. And that's when, unfortunately, I failed. I swear I thought about lying in this part of the script. I felt ashamed for failing again. Even though no one has seen this video yet, I still felt embarrassed. Failing on the 4th day of trying to change my life filled me with shame. But after thinking about it for a few minutes, I told myself, why lie? You wouldn't be lying to the people who might watch this. You'd be lying to yourself, just like you've done so many times before. So, like I said from day one, I want to be honest. I want to be truthful with the people watching this video and with myself. I want to see my mistakes, my failures, and try to correct them. I don't want to fake a transformation in a day, a week, or a couple of months. I want to work on myself despite the failures. I want to see progress, even if it's slow, even if it's not obvious, even if it takes a long time. I want it to be real. That's why, after failing, I told myself, if I failed at this, I can't fail the project. I have to show improvement in at least one area of my life. I can't abandon everything just because I failed with my addiction. I know that one day, in one way or another, I will overcome this addiction. With that thought, I stopped beating myself up and went back to work. It was around 1 p.m. Surprisingly, that mindset helped me. I was able to solve the issue with translating the script. I basically created a protocol with ChatGPT to automate that process. After that, it was time to choose an AI-generated voice to narrate the video, and surprisingly, I found one I liked very quickly. That night, I didn't record consistently. I used the camera's memory to create a rough draft of the final video style. I experimented with video speed, subtitles, and fonts. By the end of the day, I had created the main template for the first video of Project Metamorphosis, day 1 of 1000, along with the introductory video. Later that night, I realized something important. I noticed that I had many problems to solve, a lot of them, so I started writing them down in a Word document. One by one, the list grew, and by the end, I had around 30 unresolved problems. That's when I realized I needed some kind of calendar. I had to assign each problem to a specific day and solve it no matter what. I understood that I had accumulated dozens of problems out of laziness or fear. I created a table in Word with the month of January, and under it, all the problems I needed to solve. When I organized them, I was shocked to see that the next day I had to solve 12 problems. An alarming number, but they had to be solved, because after that, I would have to work again and continue recording and creating these videos. So I created another document, a personal schedule. I mapped out every hour of the day and strategically placed each task with the time it would take to complete. I had never done anything like that in my life before. After finishing all of that, I closed my laptop. It was exactly 9:30 p.m. I went to bed and fell asleep about 30 minutes later, thinking about all the problems I still had to solve. To finish this day, all I can say is that even though it didn't go the way I expected, I'm grateful for the day I had. I'm not making excuses for my failure at all, but I think failing taught me something. Sometimes in life we fail, and we get stuck, paralyzed by one mistake, while neglecting other areas of our lives. Today, I didn't plan to fail, but I did. I gave in to something I hate doing, because it's not something the person I want to become would do. But sometimes those mistakes, failures, or falls push us toward things that help us later. If I hadn't failed today, I wouldn't have organized my problems or created my personal schedule. I was focused on future goals, but what good are goals if you have dozens of unresolved problems? So I'll end with this. Don't stay trapped in the bitterness of failure. Get up and fight for the things that still matter, because every hour counts, every minute counts, and every action counts. I'll be back tomorrow.